everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome in. Hope you're all having a lovely day and taking good care of yourselves. Happy Tuesday. Hello, hello. If it is the evening for you, good evening. It sure is for Petri over here. Hello, hello. So, alrighty, let me get my stuff up here real quick. So, Petri, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time out of your hectic schedule to allow me to interview you. I know you've been very busy with moving and the awards and making lots of awesome content for your channel. So let's start with the basics. Could you introduce yourself a little bit? Who is Petri?
Hi.
What do you do? What do you love and all that?
Hi, I'm Petrichoral. I'm a vsinger. I'm the creator and host of the Hidden Gems Small Vtuber Awards, and I make all kinds of chaotic content. You know, I'm pretty loud gremlin energy, so if you're into that, that's what I do.
I think a lot of people are actually here are into gremlins for sure. I am very loud as well, so that definitely checks out. So what we're gonna do is I have a few categories that I want to go through regarding questions. We're gonna ask you a little bit about yourself and your career, a little about your vsinger career, a little bit about the Small Vtuber Awards, and a couple fun questions as well. Sound good?
Sweet. Perfect.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So first of all, how did you get into content creation? How did you get into VTubing?
So I've been a content creator. I've been on Twitch under this name for about 8 years. I've been a content creator for, let me do maths, 14, I want to say 14 years.
14 years. That's crazy.
Yeah, I used to make like vlogs and do challenge videos and make silly little goofy edits, and I used to do parodies of like horror films when I was a teenager. So I would do parodies of Paranormal Activity. They were really bad, but I just loved it, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's so cool. So okay, so you're pretty very into horror, right? Yes. Yes. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. Just a little bit. So what's the scariest game you've played then? Scariest game?
I couldn't finish. I couldn't play Outlast, and I couldn't play Amnesia. They were too scary, too spooky for me. Too spooky.
Fair enough. So then, was there like a certain like a VTuber that you saw that like you went, you know what, I'm gonna get into VTubing because of this person?
So I found iChat, and then I watched her for a bit, but then it wasn't until I didn't actually intend to become a VTuber. What I did was I discovered Vroid Studio, and I was like, oh, well, this is like what I studied at college.
Vroid!
Like, let's play with this. And I made a Vroid, and I was showing all my friends. I was like, oh my god, how sick is this? And then I discovered like the category of VTubing. I discovered Nyanas was my first one.
Oh, Nyanas.
You know, of her past life. And then Iron Mouse through her, and so on and so on. So, and then I just fell into VTubing, I guess.
Oh, that's really cool though. Okay. So I know like a lot of people, whenever they first start into VTubing, right? They're like, they have somebody that they really look up to, you know? For me, that was Shy Lily, right? But I ended up I saw her clips first on YouTube. So I was like, I like to know where people got their start in VTubing from that direction, right? Especially if you've been a content creator before. So 14 years is absolutely insane. It makes sense why you have so much experience now.
That's why I like to share it, because like I guess I kind of grew up doing it all, and I've seen all the different stages of content creation over the last like decade and a half, and so a lot of people are only dipping their toes into it for like the very first time, and it's so hard to get into, and you know, like nothing, there's no like comprehensive guides on things, and so I was like, well, I want to help people find that knowledge that it took me fucking years to make on my own, you know?
Yeah, no, I think that's really cool, honestly. I think that it's awesome that you do that for others. And I know you've done that also, you know, giving people opportunities quite a bit as well with the Small Vtuber Award. So how would you describe your content to somebody curious about what you do for a living?
Well, it depends who it is. Most of the time when people go, what do you do for a living? I'm like, oh, you know, I do like social media managing, I guess. Yeah. But if it's someone I trust, I'll be like, oh, you know, I stream a little on Twitch, and I dabble
a little bit in streaming,
and I try to entertain people. And they're like, but what do you do? Do you like flash your titties or whatever? And I'm like, no. We play games, and you know, we cook, and we tell stories, and I make people laugh. You know, Not about I mean, a little bit about titty, but it's not about titties, right? So
it's a tiny bit about the boobs.
yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
No, I get that. It's like, having to like have that normie answer for people who don't really understand what you do, and then the answer for those who you're a little bit closer to, who maybe they don't understand it, but you have more trust in making sure that they're not gonna give you a side eye, right?
My family have been going around telling everyone I'm a VTuber. And so we
Oh
had this big
no.
family barbecue, and everyone was asking me about it, and I was like, "Whoa, you aren't supposed to know about this." And then having to explain to my older generation family members about what VTubing is and what the fuck I do for a living, because I was just going to tell everyone I was a social media manager, but someone let the cat out the bag, so.
Oh no.
Horrible.
But I must admit that they're very proud of you then, right? They seem pretty proud of the VTubing. Unless they're like, ugh, yeah, she's a VTuber.
They just don't get it. They just don't get it. They're like, oh, that's nice. Yeah. Does it pay the bills?
No, not yet. I'm getting their mom.
Really?
In your personal opinion, what do you feel has been your biggest impact in the community in your career so far?
Easily the VTuber Awards. As much as I wish it was my own content, like my personality, my music, whatever. No, it's the VTuber Awards, and I'm very proud of that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you have a very lovely personality as well. I think that helps. I think it's like, you could say, I mean, it is the awards, right? But then the awards could not have thrived the way it did if you didn't have somebody behind it that had such a good personality, good leadership skills, good organizational skills. It's not easy to do that. It's not easy. At all.
Oh, thanks, B.
Well, it's not. Listen, I'm not just trying to compliment you. I genuinely mean it, right? It does take a lot of work, and I think that's something that isn't seen nearly as often, right? So, be confident in the wonderful personality that you have, because your community is there for you.
Thanks, B. They are. They're a good set of goofy beans, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah, trust me, I've seen it. They do seem like sweethearts.
They are.
So then, what is something about your career as a streamer that you feel would shock a normal person who doesn't understand streamer culture?
Oh. I think when I've been telling people about like what I do, and okay, take Offkai for example, because we met at Offkai, and and we were both guests there, we were both panelists.
Yeah.
Being able to tell people, yes, I've been invited to be a panelist at this really big convention, and people be like, wait, there's a convention for that? Wait, why are you being invited? Things like, yeah, like people want to meet me. Like, I know that's crazy. I'm like a micro internet celebrity. But like, I think that's the most shocking thing when when people find out about the crazy offers I've had, like the guy who wanted to buy my snot, and was willing to pay any price tag.
What?
Oh yeah. He was like, whatever you want to charge, baby, I'll pay it, and I'll be a repeat customer.
Oh no!
Genuinely, he wanted my.
So how's the bank?
And that kind of stuff is what I think blows people's minds the most when I tell them about like what I do or whatever. Obviously, that doesn't come up in casual conversation, but sorry,
No, wait, that's so funny to me. I'm sorry. I thought like people think, they say, oh, people ask for your feet pics, and then they think that's weird. And you say people ask for your snot.
Honestly, I've had more offers of things like snot than I have had dick pics in my DMs. I have never been sent a single dick pic as a VTuber. Please do not make that a first time.
Don't do that.
But I can confirm, since becoming a VTuber, I've had not a single dick pic, but I have had multiple offers of cash donations for things like, pics of feet and
wow,
all sorts, snot and whatever.
I applaud you on being able to handle that. Thankfully, I also have never received any unsolicited, unsavory pics. Definitely not of snot either. I think I'm happy with that. Oh my gosh. But all right, so then how has your journey as a content creator changed over the years? Do you feel that the Small Vtuber Awards has changed the trajectory of your career?
Ooh, I think when I used to be a facecam streamer, it was like something I really wanted to do a lot more of, and it was very much like a side gig for me. And I had to do many hiatuses for various reasons. And then when I came back as a VTuber, I was like, you know what? This could actually like be something, you know? This could actually like
Yeah.
be something. And I was really enjoying it a lot more. I came out of my shell a lot more, and how I saw my content and how I viewed content creation in general changed a lot. And then the VTuber Awards, for context, for people that don't know, the VTuber Awards blew up quite big last year when I first announced it, and it did really change the trajectory of things. The award show went really well, and then there was a lot of backlash and controversy, and a lot of negativity and positivity, so it wasn't all bad. But it did really change how I think I'm perceived in the community, and how I am treated. So like Offkai, for example, is a really good example because it was a big VTuber space in person. And I like introduced myself when I was meeting someone. I'd be like, "Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Petri," and they'd be like, "Oh my god, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Fee," and I'd be like, "Oh, it's lovely to meet you."
Oh god.
And they'd be like, "You do the Small Vtuber Awards," and I'd be like, "Yeah,
calling me out
that's
directly.
Me. Well, I do want to use someone else as an example, you know. Or like
I
people would be
accept
like,
it.
"Oh, okay, I don't know who you are," and then I'll be like, "Oh, you know, I do the Small VTuber Awards," and then they go, "Oh," and then people's tune like really changes, and I think people have made a lot of assumptions about me because I went like, should we say like semi-viral in the community?
Yes, absolutely.
And so people have all formed their own preconception of who I am and what kind of person I am and whatever. And a lot of drama happened around the award shows where a few people decided to make it their life's mission to spread bullshit about me. And there are a huge group of people that just they blank me, they don't talk to me, I get shut out of communities, I get excluded from things because people have been spreading rumors. Yeah, at least that's what it feels like, you know? It feels like people have this preconceived notion of me, but I can't change that. I can only work with what I got, you know? And I hope that people will take the time to see me as a person and not, you know, a tweet that went viral.
Yeah.
You know?
Although I will also note, based on the requirements for the Small VTuber Awards to be eligible to be nominated, you do still fall under that requirement.
Yeah.
So you are still technically considered a small VTuber under those requirements.
Before I started doing the awards, I had 2,000 followers on
You're
Twitter.
so small, so small.
I know, I was a teeny little baby. And to think that it even gained as much traction as it did, given how small my followership was insane. And so when people were upset that they weren't nominated, it's like, yeah, I had 2,000 followers. Like, of course you weren't going to see my tweets about the nominations, you know? And
did
so,
people blame you for that, or like?
Yes.
What? But but you can't nominate people. It really
wasn't coming across. Yeah, like, I'm sorry I wasn't going through the VTuber tag and adding every single fucking VTuber ever. It was a self-nomination thing. People were encouraged to self-nominate. And so if they didn't see it, they obviously weren't nominated, so they obviously wouldn't be included in the show. And that was somehow my fault and a reason to hate me. It was wild, but I do still consider myself a small VTuber.
You know, an angry mob is very irrational. An angry mob is very irrational. You can't reason with an angry mob.
I also learned there's a whole category of, I guess a lot of people call them V-tweeters, right? And it's people on Twitter who literally do not make content. They call themselves a VTuber. They use a virtual avatar character as a profile picture, and then they just hate on things. And like you'll receive these threads or these comments on your content saying like really nasty things or being really hypercritical. Yeah. And then you think, oh, that's really nasty. I must have done something wrong. And then you click on their profile and you realize their entire thread is just freaking hating on people and saying like slurs, racism, homophobia. And it's like, you know what? Maybe I don't feel so bad about it. When I got cancelled last year for the VTuber Awards, a bunch of really, really big, well-known VTubers hit up my DMs and were like, hey, I'm really sorry you're going through this. I have your back. Like, you know, you'll get through this. Don't block anyone. Just mute them, move on. Don't look at it. Like, you'll be okay. If you need anything, I'm here. And I was like, oh my God, like, that's because they obviously can't speak publicly about it, right?
Yeah.
It was, man.
But still, yeah.
I never thought I would get recognized by any of these people. But the number of them that came in my DMs, because imagine if they spoke about it publicly and they were like, "Oh my god, I support Petri," then they get flack for it and they
Yep.
want to avoid it and look best publicly, and I totally get
Because
that.
yeah.
And so it's just really nice for them to reach out in DMs. It made me feel so much better. Like a really big Phase Connect streamer hit up my DMs and she was like,
Oh,
"A lot
wow.
of the people giving you hate right now hate on me regularly. They're just haters. It's just what they do. Ignore them. The exact same people are always in my replies." And I was like,
anti-Twitter, anti-Twitter, anti-V-tweeters.
yeah, exactly.
No, that's very unfortunate though. It sucks because like you don't deserve that kind of hate, right? No matter, you could do an amazing thing and still get hate. You could do a terrible thing and get hate. Or you could do a terrible thing and get praise for it. Like it's a matter of everyone's gonna have their own opinions on the internet. So I guess consider this a reminder to everyone to be kind on the internet. You never know who you're talking to. There's a person behind the screen. And I know it's hard to understand when you're not seeing them face to face and seeing their expressions and seeing how they feel. But it's all the more reason to be a bit of a kinder person, right? All the more reason.
It teaches you a lot about not taking everything to heart that you read on the internet and be like, "Oh, it's just another hater," you know, like there is no actual weight to their words. And I think if it happened again this year, I'm way better equipped to handle it. So
good.
It's okay.
So then, on that note, what has been the most challenging thing as a content creator so far for you?
The most challenging. Ooh, there's a lot of challenging things about being a content creator. Part of me wants to say money.
Money.
You know, like you invest 24 hours, 7 days a week into it, and you'll make not even minimum wage, like
pennies even.
Not even a taxable income, you know?
Yep.
Or you could say it's the people and, you know, all the haters and the trolls and everything. Then it gets easier the more you get used to it. You could say it's the never-ending workload, but I love that.
Are you a workaholic? You're a
workaholic,
Petri. Oh my god! I feel like every VTuber who's really gotten into their work has become to some extent a workaholic, and whether they're willing to admit it or not.
Because you love what you do.
Yes.
Like
when you love your job.
Finish a project, I'm already 10 steps ahead on the next project. And like my mods tell me off about it. My mods and friends are like, "Please, for the love of God, take a break." But I'm like, "Oh, but I had this really good idea." And
it's like, if I don't start it now.
It's gonna be amazing. Yeah, exactly. So like you're a workaholic because you love it, not because you're addicted to earning money, you know? I mean, maybe I don't speak for everyone, but
yeah, well, you know, I definitely have had my own experiences with my mods and friends and my manager getting on my case about
telling you to chill the fuck out.
Maybe. Cannot confirm nor deny. This is a trade secret. But no, I understand that. I completely understand that. But then on the flip side, what has been the most rewarding part of being a content creator?
There are times that, you know, community members have brought me to tears from saying things like, "You have changed my life." Or you took me through the darkest times of my life, you know? Or I look forward to coming home every day from work to be able to hang out and, you know, enjoy my time in this community with you. And I'm like, "Oh my God, yeah, like I'm actually gonna like die of I don't even know what the emotion is. Like, it's
That's
just too much, you know?"
wholesome.
Yeah,
no,
that
I
is
get
the
that.
most rewarding part.
Yeah.
Or like when your friends come to you and they're like, I wouldn't be able to keep streaming if you didn't help me with this thing. Like, honestly, you've been in whatever. And it's just like, damn, like to be able to have that impact. And sure, maybe 10 years down the line, no one will fucking remember me. But you know what? For that time, for that moment, like that person truly felt that and meant those words, and they will never understand how much that means to me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I take those words with me every day.
Oh, that's so wholesome. I can tell that you have a really loving and supportive community, and I think that kind of reflects, right? So it's like, yeah, but I think that reflects, right? We're like, you know, yes, you're a gremlin, and they're gonna be a gremlin back to you, but at the same time, you know, you've shown them, you know, love, and they show you love back. You know, they clearly feel like a sense of belonging in your space, and that's something that you should feel very proud of.
I am. They're good beans. I think sometimes.
Most times, usually.
Most of the time.
Oh, we got somebody in the chat right now calling you out.
I don't know. Quick ban 'em.
Oops. So then, have you ever thought about settling down on a niche? Or do you prefer the variety that you currently do? Is there a niche that you keep returning to?
I'd say I'm kind of in the middle between variety and niche. Like, okay, there's a lot of different ways I want to tackle this question. You could say I'm a variety because I play a lot of different games. You could also say I'm niche because the two things I do is like giving back to the community with like education and opportunities, but I also play a lot of sim games. I love sim games. Give me the weirdest, wackiest, most obscure simulator games you found on the internet, and I will play that shit. I've played so many weird sim games. I've had Bitcoin miners on my PC by accident.
Oh no!
But
I do see the weird sim games for sure. I definitely see that quite often.
A lot of them. Yeah. Toilet Sim was one of my favorites. That's right up there.
Oh my god.
I think the other way you could take the question is I think there's different ways to be a content creator, a streamer. Let's tackle streamer specifically.
Yeah.
A lot of streamers make the game, the category, the niche, the content. You know, cooking streamers, COD streamers, you know, Souls-like streamers, you know, educational streamers.
I know you dabble a bit in Souls-like.
I consider myself to be the content. You know, like I think the content is me, my character, my entertainment, right?
Yeah.
So it's not how I play the game, it's me organically. So I could play any game and that will be the content. So I don't think it's I don't think it's a bad thing to not have a niche if you as your personality become the content and carry the content. Make sense? Make sense.
For example, I know you do have a journal that you write in. So when people come in the chat, you write their names in your journal. And I know that you did this for Offkai as well. Could you tell me actually a little bit about that journal?
Yeah, so I have this book that I take with me to conventions because I go to a lot of conventions, especially in the UK. And I also do it every stream. So every stream or event is a new page in a double spread page in the book, and I'll write every new chatter's name in the book. So if you came into chat and said hi Betty, I'll be like hi for these guys in the book.
Oh, okay.
Like, oh my god, is it a death note? And I'm like, I'll never tell. But you know, it's also really fun because they get to see their name go in the book, you know, and it's like I really like having the book. It's like a constant reminder of everyone that is here for me, the people that show up every freaking day, you know.
Yeah.
And then I get to take it to conventions and they get to see it in person and they look for their name through the pages. I'm like, oh my god, it's so cute. And then they write their own name in the book and I permanently have that signature there. So as much as, you know, you guys want to come to conventions to get your favorite VTuber signature, I want to go to convention to get your signature.
Oh god.
Your bank details, you know.
Yeah. Now what's your social again? Yeah. Remind me. I think I asked you on the plane earlier.
696969.
Oh, 420. But no, I love that. It's a little detail I enjoy. And I do apologize once again. I wrote my name quite large in your book.
It's fine. I'll never let you live it down. Huge. Feet took up like an entire page, just like, "Please guy," with a big scribble underneath. Because you had early bird privileges.
Yeah, you know, see, the thing is, like, you know, when you told me to write my name in the book, I was like, oh, it means you have multiple pages for this entire convention. I'll just scribble.
No, to be fair though, I went to a party off Kai. I think it was on the Saturday or something. Honestly, I don't remember. It was one hell of a weekend. And I was at this party and this guy I had just met was like, oh my god, will you sign my shirt? And I was like,
I know that guy. I know that guy. Oh my god, I know that guy. Oh my god, that's I believe it's DencaVT now. Yeah. He
yes, he is.
I went to that same party, Petri, but later in the night.
At the same time, I was so drunk that weekend. I'm not even joking. So I was the first person he asked. I was like, well, how big? And I was like, we'll take a leaf out of Facebook. And across the entire shoulders, I was like, well, I may as well sign it with my name, you know.
But yeah, no, I think it's really cool. I do like that journal quite a bit. And I think it's one of the little things about your stream that make it a little bit more welcoming too. So definitely keep doing that if you enjoyed it. Super cool.
Yeah.
But then moving on to the next section, it's going to kind of, branch off from my prior question. Do you feel that it's better to be a variety streamer or find a niche?
I don't think there is an answer to that. I think it really, really does depend on the person and the route that they want to take. And so if someone were to ask me that question about their own content, like, should I go variety or should I go niche? I would sit them down and I'd break it down into these things. I'd be like, okay, well, do you want to grow fast? And can you play one game for potentially the rest of your career? And if the answer is no to both of those questions, then go variety. Or not variety, but main your one game, but make sure you're diversifying in so you're not playing one game and only one game. Because once you lock yourself down into a niche and only do that one thing, at some point, years down the line maybe, you're going to get so freaking bored. Consider you want to blow up and do it as a full-time job. You're now working 50 hours a week playing one game. Let's say it's Minecraft, because everyone does Minecraft, right?
Minecraft is good, though.
You play Minecraft for like 50 hours a week for like the next 5 years. Could you do that? Like,
feasibly? Come to hate it.
Could you do that? Exactly.
I will say,
insane, and they do. They go insane.
From prior experience, recently even, playing, I tried to niche in Valorant, right? And let me tell you, the mental capacity it takes to main in Valorant is a whole creature that I could never, ever get over that hill. I could never, ever. Nope. It's incredibly difficult and very taxing mentally, right? So, but continue what you were saying. I apologize.
No, you're fine. The problem with picking a niche is that the moment you decide you no longer want to do that, that entire community that you've built, because they are not invested in you as the content, they are invested in the game as the content.
Yeah.
You change game, they leave. And I say this as someone who used to main Overwatch and then, obviously left Overwatch and lost everything, you know? Or as someone who became a VTuber and lost my entire community from face cam streaming, it does happen. So if you don't pen yourself into a niche, it's a lot slower growth. It's so much slower, but it's still doable, and those people will stick around no matter what you play. And you can always dabble in things and see, actually, you know what, clearly people didn't enjoy that, I just won't do that again. You just got to constantly look back at your analytics and learn from it, and realize what your people want and like and what they don't like. It's not a bad thing to see a dip in your numbers. It's really not. I think it really gets to people, but it's really not. It's just education for you. And it goes, okay, well, whatever I did that stream, either the time I streamed, the day, the lack of marketing, or the type of marketing, or even the game I played, or my behavior, something about that wasn't, engaging with people as it normally would. And you just learn from that, and you grow and improve, and you do better.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that advice, and I think that's some very sound advice as well. A lot of people are still trying to find their niche, and some people, they can definitely spend hours and hours and hours and hours playing a game. Don't get me wrong, I will get sucked into a game and I'll be like, oh yes, I could totally play this game for like the next 50 years, 50 hours a week, totally. And then I realize that there's aspects of the game, to some extent, that, make me maybe not feel as in love with it as I used to be, right? And that's absolutely heartbreaking and very devastating as a content creator who finds a niche, right? So, my own personal experience, explore. Enjoy yourself.
You can also have a niche and be variety, though. Like, one of my favorite content creators who I've watched for years and years, RT Game, he's an Irish facecam streamer. A lot of people might know him. And he makes YouTube videos, and he's hilarious. He's so funny. He plays every freaking game under the sun. He'll play anything and everything. But his niche is the way he plays games. So he'll play a game, and he'll do crazy, stupid shit, and he'll be really funny. Again, he is the content. I think that's the important thing to realize there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know a lot of streamers and VTubers especially start off as the variety streamer, right? And I think that's a good way to start when you're trying to discover yourself and what you want your niche to be, if you do want to niche down, right? So it's kind of the beauty of it, right? It's kind of the beauty of it. Your goal as a variety streamer is to bring people in from the game and then have them stay for your personality.
Yes. Yes.
Super important.
I can say it does work though. Like Shadow here in chat is a regular in my community, And
Okay.
Shadow found me because I was playing Undertale. And you know, when you play games like Undertale, a bunch of the Undertale fans come in and they love that world, right? They love it. And he was like, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I will stay until you beat Undyne. And then it took me forever to beat Undyne. And then they just enjoy the stream so much, they're like, you know what, I just like you. And then they're like, you know what, I'll watch
Aww.
you play anything. And they'll stick around because they found you through your game, but they just really like you and your content, so they stick around.
Crazy idea,
And
right?
that's the joy of being variety. I know, right? Insane.
Insane. Somebody liking me as a person instead of just the game I play. Absolutely bonkers. But I think that's awesome. I appreciate your advice on that. So then this one's a pretty tough one, especially since you've had a lot of chaotic stuff going on in your life recently. How do you juggle your VTuber activities, the awards, and your IRL? Any advice for people hoping to follow in your footsteps to start big projects of their own?
I think don't bite off more than you can chew, and I'm a hypocrite for saying that. I am was in the privileged position where I could full-time VTube, and as of like today, I no longer full-time VTube.
Yeah.
I now have like a normal 9 to 5, and I'm learning to juggle that again. Because the award shows haven't even happened, the work hasn't finished for that. So
No, still going.
we're still going. We're still
And
going
whatever
strong
next
on
big
that.
project you have as well.
How did you know?
Our earlier conversation, Petri. You outed yourself willingly.
Yeah, I've had another big plan for a really, really big project for since before the awards even started this year. So, but I promised I wouldn't start that until I'm done with the awards. So how do I manage it all? I think you have to be really genuinely passionate about what you do. I think you genuinely have to really want it, you know, because there would be times where I would stream until, you know, I'm knackered and stream, work 50 more hours on things.
I love that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sleep, get up first thing in the morning, I'm back on my PC, I'm working on things. And it's like, it wasn't even something that I was making myself do. It was just like, yo, oh my God, I want to do this. I wake up and I do it. And you bash it out. You just get it done, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like work. It's just, you're just passionate about it. Now for a full-time job and like other things into that mix, yeah, it gets a bit more difficult, but don't overpromise. You know, like I've had to try to be really realistic and say, look, we're gonna have to really chill out on, you know, I'm gonna have to really delay things on this project. I'm gonna have to really delay things on this project. I'm gonna have to scale back on this. And people are really understanding about it, you know?
Yeah.
So don't promise more than you can.
Under promise and over deliver.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's how you make people happiest. Don't promise them too much, but like, you know, when you do get to it, if you're able to deliver more than what you promised.
Yeah. Yeah.
Set. All right. So then, Petri, most important question. I'm sure everyone's been wondering this every single time they come into your stream. What is your secret for keeping up your insane energy for hours during every single stream?
Honestly, I don't know. I think I'm just built that way.
Just built different.
I'm just built that way.
I'm just built different.
Built different. Built different. I mean, yeah, the boomer juice, but like, take the boomer juice away, and I haven't had any boomer juice today. Look, I'm buzzing. But,
what is boomer juice? I need details. Monster. Oh, you're calling yourself a boomer? I suppose. Listen. Well, I'm sorry. Number one rule, Fee. Don't insult the interviewee. Gosh, dang it.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Look.
It comes from an old meme about like only boomers would drink the white sugar-free Monster.
And you drink that?
And that was the one I used to drink.
Oh, so you've evolved.
I'm pretty sure, like yourself, I'm sponsored by Advanced GG. So now my generic caffeinated canned drink is Boomer Juice. And I don't label it by name. Just not because I'm not allowed to, but because I just think it's...
To move on to some questions about your singing career, Petri. I saw that you listed yourself as a vsinger, and I did get a chance to listen to a few of your songs, which, by the way, you have a beautiful voice. An absolutely beautiful voice.
V.
Yes. I genuinely mean that. And I would love to see more music from you in the future as well.
I really want to. It's
questions about that soon. Trust.
I'm not gonna lie.
More projects, more big projects, Petri.
Yeah, I know.
So how long have you been singing? Did you go to school to learn as well?
I've been singing since I was 10 little baby. You know when you're a little baby and you first start answering questions like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Singer. I want to be a singer.
A singer.
My parents were like, "Okay, yeah, whatever you say."
Yeah,
I
okay.
never went to school for it. Never went to school for it.
Oh.
That's a lot of money. They cost a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And there was about a year or so where I could afford the extra cash, and I paid for a singing teacher that I saw once a fortnight, so twice a month. She was
Mm-hmm.
amazing. She was lovely. She used to watch my streams, you know.
Really?
So
That's so cool.
um, so no, I've not really had much professional training. So
Mm-hmm.
I'd say I'm mostly self-taught. I mean, I did a little bit of choir at school, but like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, I've never had music lessons or anything. But yeah, my singing teacher was great though. Her and her boyfriend, she used to watch my streams, and then
Mm-hmm.
one day I was streaming Elden Ring, right?
Yeah.
And she walked in, and her boyfriend was uh watching my stream, and
Mm-hmm.
she goes, "Oh, that's my student." And he's like, "Wait, really?" And
That's
so
so sweet.
when I came in for my next lesson, she was like, "You would never believe what happened. You'd never believe it. Guess who my boyfriend was watching on stream playing Elden Ring?" And I was like, "Oh my God, who?" Like, you know, I don't know, like somebody comes
Who?
and she was like, "No, you." And I was like, "What? Really?
Found in the
About
wilds.
me?" She's like, "Yeah." And she's so sweet. Like when I released my first song on Spotify and it
Mm.
like did really well, she was telling all of her music friends about
Oh.
it, and she was telling me how hard it is that she finds to get her own music listened to, and how hard it is for her musician friends to get their music to get any plays and everything. And I was like, "Wait, so
Mm.
this is like really good?" And she was like, "This is really good.
This is
Like
amazing.
you're doing insanely well." Like we've got over 100,000 streams of my music on Spotify
Wow.
right now. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
didn't
I
even
think it's gotta
realize
be at
that.
like 1,100. God damn it, it's gotta be
Look at
it's
Petrichoral. Petrichoral.
g
Because I'm
it's gotta
actually
be
very,
over
very curious. I see you.
125,000 streams right now.
Let's see. Oh, why isn't that showing up on
Petrichoral.
my end? Very interesting. Ah, so you are at 74,851 streams on Shine and
Mhm.
50,681 on Let You Down. So in total,
Yeah.
it's well over
100
100,000 for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
Wow.
125K. It's insane, right? That's
115
insane.
monthly listeners. You're doing good.
Woo! That's with like no new uploads in over a year.
Oh my gosh.
I'll fix it, I promise.
Fair
But
enough.
yeah.
So then how did you go about writing the lyrics for your original?
I didn't write the lyrics. So I had a
Oh.
concept and I had
Mm,
this idea that I wanted to portray. And then I
mm.
found some because I have no idea how to write lyrics and how to make music. So I went and commissioned people and I worked with people. So I worked really closely with Vtuber and
Mm,
they helped me write the lyrics and then we reworked them and then Shine was born. Yeah.
that is amazing. You did a wonderful job in that song, by the way.
Thank
Absolutely
you.
beautiful, very emotional. Oh my gosh. If correct me if I'm wrong, is that the song that plays in your whenever
It
like you
is.
first do
Yeah,
your
it's my intro.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I love it so much. I love it.
I
Every
wanted
time I
it to
hear it, I'm
feel
just
like
like,
an anime
ah.
intro, you know? And I
It
wanted
does
it
feel
to
like
really
that.
portray my goals and my ambition. And the whole thing is
Mm.
like, I will shine and I will make you proud and I will be the brightest I can for you. And that's the whole like premise of
Oh.
Shine. So I really like that it plays before stream because it's like, this is me. This is what we're gonna do. I hope you like it. I hope to make you proud, you know, whatever, whatever. So yeah.
So did you
Wholesome.
I'm guessing it was the recording of it very emotional then? Did you cry at all when you were making this?
Um
Mm.
The first few times, yeah. I mean, it must have been like
Oh.
50 odd takes.
Oh.
But I wanted it to be clean, like an anime intro,
Mhm.
you know. It doesn't have the rawness that the other song has. Let You
Yeah.
Down is quite raw.
Mm.
But Shine is quite polished and like, you know, uh anime intro clean. I
Yeah.
don't know.
No, but it
But
does
yeah,
sound like
the
an anime
first few
intro. It's
times I was like,
perfect.
oh my god, it's coming together.
That's really exciting for you, though. That's awesome. Um,
Thank you.
so do you have any plans for any future originals?
Yes, I do.
Yes? Are you willing to share anything at all? Or is that top secret?
I've had something in the works for quite a long time.
Oh, yeah?
But I kind of lost my confidence a bit
Mm.
with recording because I'm not gonna lie, doing karaoke on stream is one thing, but recording your own music is brutal. Like, it's, oh my God, it's brutal.
Seems
You
like it,
know,
yeah.
because you turn all the filters off, you put your mic on like max sensitivity, it's raw. Like, you hear everything in fine,
terrifying.
crisp detail. It's horrifying. So I will record a cover or a song or something, and I'll be like, you know what? I think this is the take I'm happy with. I think that came out really good. I really like it. I listen back and I'm like, and then I listen back again. I'm like, oh my God, the more I listen, the more I hate it, you know? And some things can be fixed in post. Some things can be fixed by just putting on a little reverb on it. And then you're like, oh, that sounds a lot better. Because we don't hear our own voices how they sound on the mic. We hear our voices with the reverb of the room. We hear our voices the way it bounces back to us. We hear our voices the way it echoes in our own. Stop redeeming things the way it echoes in our own brain and everything. So to hear it recorded without all of those extra, it's, oh God, it's hard. It's hard. It's
Understandable. You ready for the next question?
Yes.
Okay. Any plans for Petrichoral concerts?
Oh, I would really love to do one. I think I do need more, like, of my own music to perform.
Yeah.
Because I'd really like to have enough of my own music or my own covers to do, like, my own live concert, like, album kind of type thing. But, I mean, I've done karaoke streams. We did our last karaoke stream at the end of August, just before the new rules dropped for the DMCA stuff, just in case I could never do one again. But it'll be easier once I've got
a
lot more music of my own, you know?
Yeah, but hopefully that goes well for you. I know you mentioned you did have some ideas for some originals that you wanted to do.
Yes.
And I think a lot of us are going to be very excited for when that comes out. And when you do plan a concert, let me know, because I will be the first one there. Unless one of your normal viewers gets there before me, I cannot. My last question regarding the singing section here. What would you tell somebody to help them get into singing, creating covers, or originals?
I think anyone can sing, and I think you just gotta find what works for you. And it's hard because I feel like a hypocrite.
No, why are you like a hypocrite?
You know, like, you should just do it. You should just do it.
Do the thing. Do it.
Yeah, but it's hard. Like, it really is putting yourself out there. Like, I feel like singing is very different to other kinds of, like, stage fright. Because singing really does come from the heart. Like, it comes from the very depths of your soul. You know what I mean? But, like, acting, putting yourself out there to, like, talk on stage, you know, other kinds of performing, it just is very different, right? It's more about technical skill. Whereas singing has so much emotion and rawness tied to it. I don't know, man. It's something else. It's something else.
It's its own skill set for sure. But I think that telling people to just do it and just to start is not bad advice either, right? Because at the end of the day, until you try something for yourself, you're never going to know how you like it and how you do.
That's true.
You know?
That's true. That's true. It's actually a lot easier to distribute your own music to Spotify and stuff than you'd think. And
Really?
a lot of people, it took me ages to work it out, right? Ages, because I couldn't find, you know, simple answers to the questions I had, right? Like, I was Googling, how do I put music on Spotify? And it'd be like, you just need a distributor. I was like, okay, well, that seems like I need to get like a record deal. Like, what's the deal with that? And then I found some distributors. And then I was like, okay, but like, what about the legality of it? Like, what about costs? What about this? What about that? And it's like, go to a really simple distributor. I recommend Sounddrop. And you make an account with your legal name, make sure it's your legal name. And then you literally just upload your file. You say if it's a cover, if it's original. If it's a cover, you just got to say who makes the original and the name of the song. They will go find the licensing for you, and you don't pay a penny. You
That
just
is really
lose
convenient.
a portion of your funds, right? Other distributors, they make you fork out for the license, which can cost you thousands. But some distributors, like DistroKid, don't recommend, or Sounddrop, they will just take a portion of your fees. So if you plan it, if you're anticipating making big money on your covers, just go to a different distributor and pay the license up front, you know?
Yeah.
And that might work out cost effective for you. But if you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, you really don't have to. You can just go through like a cheaper, and it'll be. I think I pay like 12 quid or something per song to upload it, or like £1. It really depends on the distributor and whatever. It's not as bad as you'd think. It's not as bad as you think. So if anyone ever needs help with it, do let me know. I'll help where I can.
Thank you for the advice. That's very, very helpful. That's something that I don't really think about when it comes to like, publishing your own covers, starting your singing career, but being able to post to put it on Spotify, but also to just properly publish it and, follow all the legal know-how. I didn't know there was companies like that like just did all the legwork for you.
You can't just put music on Spotify. You have to go through a distributor. But there's also all the legal issues because it's monetized. You have to have the legal right to be able to use those sounds, even the samples in your song. You have to have the legal rights to use it all monetized, But on the flip side, like if you go for a distributor, they will handle copyright claims for you. So if someone were to stream my songs or they were to use my songs in their YouTube videos, I will get a notification being like, oh, hey, just so you know.
Yeah,
someone used your shine.
And you're like,
and then you can choose to do something about that. Yeah, right? And you can choose to what to do about that, or they handle it for you, and then you just get, whatever money is owed to you. So
yeah,
it's worth
that's really
doing.
Cool, though.
If you're paying 75 quid, 100 quid, 200 quid to get an instrumental done for a song you want to do a cover of, you may as well pay the small bit extra to distribute that song, monetize it, I see a lot of VTubers, they do cover songs and they will get a custom instrumental backing track. They will get it professionally mixed and mastered, and then they just post it on YouTube for like nothing. No money for it.
I know, right?
And it's like, just publish it. It costs you like, a couple of quid.
Literally, it's like cents. Like just post it. Post a thing. Do the thing.
You can make money off it. You'll get more engagement off it. Like, people will find you for your music and come to your... Even if no one fucking listens to it, that option is there. And I know a lot of my community, they listen to my music on their daily commute. They listen to it doing, daily things. Or like some of them have it as their alarms and stuff. And just having that option for them to be able to listen to it on the go on their phone through like streaming platforms, it's just worth doing it, It's just worth doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but only if you have the commercial right to do that. Like if you've used the same backing track as someone else, you do not have the commercial license for that. Do not publish that to Spotify. You will get fucked. So
got it. Okay, so be careful with the laws because you will get fucked.
Yeah.
We appreciate the advice on that. That's actually super, super, super in depth, and I think goes over a lot of things that people wouldn't really think of dealing with when they're first getting into V-singing, right? So thank you for that advice, Petri. I appreciate that. The next section I'm going to be talking to you about is the awards. There's a lot of questions here, so we'll try to kind of bang them out one by one. All right. So, Petri, what inspired the Small Vtuber Awards? What was going through your noggin that really created this all and made it all happen?
Spite. Pure spite.
Spite?
That's it. Spite.
Spite.
Spite. Pure spite.
And what created that spite for you? I'm very curious.
Do you remember when Fillion, the big VTuber herself, announced, I am going to do the first ever VTuber award show?
Yep.
Remember that day? And then followed closely after that was Takahata, the bartender VTuber, and Iron Mouse herself, both coming forward and saying, oh, but I was also going to do the first ever VTuber award show, and the three of them battled it out to decide who was going to do the award show first.
I see. I know. I see.
And when those announcements came out, and everyone was like, oh, award show, VTuber award show, oh my god! And I was like, oh, I guarantee you all three award shows will feature the same 15 VTubers in all of them.
More than likely,
it'll be the same 15
right?
VTubers you've seen everywhere.
At it, but...
Yeah, probably. I didn't watch it either, but probably,
Okay.
But probably. And I tweeted that out, and a bunch of people were like, yeah, honestly, like, when are we going to see some new faces, some fresh talent?
Very controversial of you, Petri.
Like, I know. This is when I had a very small 2,000 followers,
That's very risky, by the way. 2,000 followers picking a fight. You picked your fight carefully, though, clearly.
I did. And a bunch of people resonated with what I said. And I was like, damn, it'd also be really nice if we featured some smaller people in these award shows, but I bet it'll only be the top of the top, which I guess
Mm-hmm.
makes sense looking back. It's an award show. Of course, it'll be the top of the top,
Yeah.
but it would still be nice,
Unless you left
see
it
some
to a
fresh
judge
talent.
voting as well. Because there's the popularity vote versus judge
Mm.
voting, right?
So I tweeted that and I was like, haha, but what if we did like the Small Vtuber Awards? And that tweet blew the heck up. Like, that tweet had more interactions than I'd ever had on Twitter before. And I was like, oh, people very clearly want a Small Vtuber Awards. Bear in mind, there had never been a VTuber
Starving
Awards
for it.
ever before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I realized, well, I know I'm never gonna get featured ever in an award show like this. Maybe way distant in the future if I were to blow up. But there is
Yes.
not a single chance that me at that size at that moment would ever have a chance to be featured in those award shows. And so I was like, well, you know what? If there's no opportunities for myself and for people like me, then I will make that opportunity. And people obviously resonated with it. And when I saw how much people were like, please do this, please do this, I was like, well, I have to now, right?
Yeah, I was like, now it's locked in.
I basically promised I would. So I was like, okay, bet. And I started working on it and I managed to get it out before even Fillion did, which it wasn't my intention. I wasn't trying to beat Fillion to the punch.
Because I
was just like, okay, well, I'm going to do it.
Because originally I saw that and I was like, we're Fillion, and was Fillion copying you? Like,
yeah,
Fillion is
I beat Fillion to the base. It was crazy. I hadn't even thought about it. Like, I was so wrapped up in my own preparations.
That's crazy.
Yeah, for real. I mean, to be fair, like it was what, like 6,000 names compared to Fillion's, which was probably like easily 10K plus. And admittedly, she probably had a whole team helping or whatever. But I can imagine she had thousands and thousands and thousands of like, nominations, like way more than I did. Because you have to think, like, I had the reach of 2,000 followers. She had the reach of however many followers she had or has, which is easily 10 times that, right? Like, so.
But no, that's pretty crazy though. I didn't even realize that was like the order of things. But I think that's really cool though, Petri. It's like that's for about the time that I found you. Is I was like, people were like, oh yeah, the Small Vtuber Awards. I was like, oh, it's already gotten passed. I wonder about it. And I look and I'm like, I wonder who got nominated. Oh, this is pretty cool. So that's how I originally found you, oddly enough. But I think it's a very, very good reason to have done it. Spite is a very powerful thing and makes people do some very crazy ideas.
Such a motivator.
I've certainly done things out of spite that definitely succeeded because it was out of spite. And I applaud you quite a bit for that because not everyone would have been willing to stand up and say something like that.
Yeah, I think anyone could have come up with the idea, but it was the follow through of it,
Yeah.
But I felt really passionate about it, so it was fine,
Yeah.
And despite a lot of the controversy, I was always saying, like, if you don't like the way I run things, I encourage you to run your own show. I don't hold the trademark on Small Vtuber Awards, which is why I even called it the Hidden Gems Small Vtuber Awards, to make sure that when people did inevitably do their own Small Vtuber Awards, mine would stand out and have a brand, and that was always really important to me.
So actually, I definitely did get a very interesting idea based off of the fact that I saw you do the Small Vtuber Awards, and I saw the Black Vtuber Awards as well. I'll message you about it later, but I did have an idea that I thought would be pretty cool, which thank you very much for giving me that idea. You have inspired a lot of people, including myself, to do things like that. So
good.
Mad respect.
I'm
mad
glad.
respect. But so how did you go about the marketing for the awards originally?
I have like a system for how I write my tweets, and that's from a lot of careful learning and experimenting on like Twitter and stuff, especially on formatting tweets. But I genuinely think formatting tweets specifically to be readable, comprehensive, and deliver quick, engaging content is extremely important for engagement on Twitter. If you just write a huge chunk paragraph, some people might read it, but the vast majority will see it and they scroll past. They're not interested, But you'll notice in every piece of branding about the Small VTuber Awards, I'll do the star emoji, Small VTuber Awards, star emoji, and it's very much like, oh, this is for me.
See.
It's for small VTubers,
Yeah,
And so I
I
make
didn't
sure
even
I'm
notice that in
telling
the
you
branding.
exactly who
That is
it's for in the very first
so,
line of the tweet. And
so,
you make
so
it
sneaky.
bold
I
with the
love it.
emojis and whatever. And I feel like I look like a boomer with so many emojis, but it's become part of the
It's
branding, you
eye-catching,
know?
though. It's
So
eye-catching. It gets people's
it
attention.
is, and that's the point.
They like not using their
So
brains to look at too much stuff at once, right? So it's like,
exactly, yeah.
I'm the same way, you know? Something that's like short and sweet, I'm more likely to read. If it's a
Mhm.
long post, I'm like, I'll bookmark it and promise to come back to it, but never actually come back to this.
Yeah, exactly,
So
exactly.
yeah, But I completely understand that. Yep. Star, Hidden Gems, Small Vtuber Awards, Star. It's finally
Exactly.
time. Through many delays and hiccups, I'm honored to announce the finalists of the 17 categories. This is
Mhm.
beautiful. This is great marketing. I didn't even need Twitter Blue for that. You don't even need Twitter Blue for that.
Right?
Sorry,
Like
X
I
Blue. X Blue.
yeah, I haven't paid for it. I think it would make life a lot easier, especially for the award show by paying for it. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I need to. And no, I really do encourage people, especially with their go live tweets, any
Mm-hmm.
tweets promoting their content. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people are very afraid to put links in their primary tweet. Don't be afraid of it. Just do it. Put it in that tweet. I don't care. Just make sure the rest of the tweet is formatted well. Stick an image on there
Do you think
that
that
tells you what it is.
links affect it by chance?
Well, people say that according to the algorithm, whatever it does, I think
Mm.
there's this payoff you have to risk, and you really do have to do experiments with your own tweets. But I
Mm-hmm.
think if you are just saying, "Hey, look, I'm streaming again. We're playing this game," and then the link, that is not going to do well. A
Mm.
lot of people are like, "Is it even worth saying that I'm going live on Twitter?" 15% of my live views come from Twitter.
Mm.
15% directly from Twitter.
About
So
how you
yeah,
market
like my
it.
live tweets do really well. Yeah. And they don't get a lot of likes or whatever. That's fine. That's not the point.
Mm-hmm.
Point is, it does directly bring people to my stream. And that's because I put the link right there in the tweet, you know? And I make
Yeah.
sure it's highlighted. I make sure people know why they should come to stream, what they're going to miss if they don't come to stream. I put a cute thumbnail and
Give them
everything. Like,
FOMO.
exactly,
Give them
exactly.
FOMO.
Like one of the highlights, I'll literally put in my tweet, if you want your name in the book, come say hi in chat, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
people do. They come straight in stream, they say hi in chat, they get their name in the book, and they're like, damn, I feel like I've accomplished something, you know? Like put in your tweet, oh, come and stream, make sure you redeem this, your
Mm-hmm.
daily, I don't know, whatever your redeems are. You know, come and
Okay.
stream or you're gonna miss me playing this game for the first time ever.
Yep.
You
And
know,
you're like, oh, you
whatever it
missed it?
is, you just
Well,
gotta make sure you really
and then
deliver
you
it.
post a clip afterward that's like, here's what happened today.
Is when you missed. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you regret missing that? Well, that really sucks. That sucks for you. Maybe try next time.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
marketing is not always just about the words you use, but the way things look. Like
And the way
even
that
the
you
way
make
you
somebody
structure your
feel.
sentences. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So then, how does this year's awards compare to last year's? Are there any aspects of the awards that you didn't expect to need changes until it had already happened?
Yes. It's
Yes.
a way bigger. Way bigger. It's this year I have taken on a team of help, and it's been a learning
Mm-hmm.
experience. I'm not good at delegating, but a
Understandable. You
lot
mean
of
you're new
people
to
in my
it?
life, a
Mm-mm.
lot of people were like, "You need help this year, Petri. Promise me you will accept help." Even you at Offkai were like, "Promise me you will accept help this year." And I was like,
I and you were
"Maybe."
like, no, you were like maybe, but like I guess I'm looking at a team of people, and I was like, Petri, if you need help, let me help you, and you refused because you were like,
Yeah,
I want you to be able to be
yeah.
nominated, and I was like,
Mhm.
Petri, if you need help, yell.
Well, I don't need it. It's just
Well,
everyone else thinks I should have it, you know?
you don't think that you need help, but you did need help, and it helped you quite a bit. I'm sure. I'm sure. Especially since
Honestly,
you had so much crazy things going on recently.
oh my God, life has been insane. I feel like August and September is always genuinely cursed for me. It's the worst time of the year. I don't know if it's just like karma, you know, like I get all this good karma from doing the
Mm,
award shows and then the shit storm hits and everything happens at once. Um
everything evens out at some point.
It
It'll
does,
all
it
look up
does. And then
eventually.
afterwards
Mm,
things get honestly, after the worst period of the year last year, I had
mm,
some of the best luck ever, you know,
yeah.
and things that were really looking up for me, you know. I don't know,
Mm.
it's insane how things work. It's insane how things work.
But things are
Yeah,
rough now,
this year is
and it'll get better.
things things will get better. Things will get better. I mean, I just got a new job and it's looking really good
Exciting.
and you know, good opportunities are coming, I think. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But
Yeah.
yeah, this year is looking way bigger.
Hmm.
And it's been a huge learning curve, learning to delegate. And it's easy to do things yourself and create these processes that work for you.
Hmm.
And then having to sit down with a team of 20 people and say, hey, so this is the process, and this is how things are going to be done. And
Hmm.
this is how I want you to do it.
Hmm.
However you would do it is up to you as long as you achieve this outcome.
Yeah.
And then 20 people go away and they do everything completely different to each other. And
Oof. Oh, okay. Delegation issues. Right. Right.
and that's fine as
Mm.
long as they're all coming to the same conclusion. But
Yeah.
everyone's coming back and being like, but what did you mean by this? How did you want this done? Can you clarify this again for me? And I'm like, oh, okay, I thought this was just like a given. Like I thought this was implied. I thought this was I didn't think I'd have to explain this, or like, I wrote this down here. Can you just look over this again for me?
Hmm.
And it was a lot. It was a lot learning to. It was almost more work managing a team of people than it was for me to just do it myself. But it's
Ah.
hard to compare, right? It's hard to compare. There's no way for me to know.
Mm.
Um, but yeah,
Would you say that it's
it's been very
like
different.
how many times bigger would you anticipate that it is this year
At
compared to
least
last
double.
year?
At
At
least
least
double.
double. Wow.
So last year we had 3,000 nomination forms.
Hmm.
Totaling an individual count of about 6,000 names. This
Wow.
year, we've had over 7,000 forms, totaling, and this isn't the final number. It's probably going to be way lower than this because it still needs to be, um, what's the word, like, culled essentially, and fixed and whatever. But the final list of names is over 10K.
My
And I expect that
God.
to maybe be a tiny bit smaller. So to pick 102 out of over 10K is it's
I
an insane feat.
applaud you. I could never do
I mean, it's
something.
the team.
Wow.
They did it all. Each member of the team did 2 categories, sometimes 1, sometimes 3. I helped on various different categories for it, and overall management of everything. And then we had 2 editors. We had 2 music people, and yeah, it's been a
Wow.
lot. Yeah.
But you did a great job picking people to help you out, though.
Yes,
That's something
yes.
that you
Some of
did.
them were
You did
finalists from
amazing.
last
Mhm.
year,
Oh
so
wow.
they were in a good position to do it because
Mm.
they know what to expect, whatever, they
Mm.
understand the categories, they have an idea, blah blah blah. Um, some of them were people a lot of them were people I'd never met before. I put out an email asking, a Google form asking people who wanted to volunteer, and a bunch of
Mm.
people responded, and I cherry picked from there based on their answers.
People want to support you, Patchery. They want to
Yeah,
support your
yeah.
ambitions. You know.
We did have a
Mm-mm-mm.
few issues of people. But
Oh,
that was bound to happen, and all I can do is damage control the best I can.
understandable.
But
Mm.
I think it went all right. As for things I
I
would
would agree.
change or things
Mm-mm.
that have changed, I already know things I want to do differently next year. And some of that is down to people's responses. Some of that is down
Mm.
to the cause and effect of things. So,
So there is a plan for a
um,
third year.
yeah, no, definitely, definitely. If I can manage
Yay!
it next year, yeah. I intend for this to be an annual thing forever. Well, as long as I can.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Into the foreseeable future, anyway.
yeah, exactly. For the foreseeable future, it will be an annual thing.
Confirmed foreseeable
Um,
future. All right, all right.
yes.
That's amazing. I'm so happy
And
for
the
you.
goal is always bigger and better. The goal is always
Yes.
bigger and better.
It's always gonna be bigger and better, all right? Knowing Petri's behind it, there's no way it could fail. It's gonna go
Oh,
amazing.
bless.
So, how did you decide the categories for last year versus this year? Is there a category that you find to be the most interesting?
Last year, I put out a tweet asking what categories people wanted, and there was a lot of back and forth on a public tweet thread about that. And then
Mm.
I decided on the final 16 categories, and then people complained, as people do. Why isn't there
Mm.
this one? Why isn't there that one? Why isn't there this one? Why
Because
can't
it
you
was
do that
community
one?
voted. It was community voted. That's why.
Yeah, people would give their suggestions, and I picked him as I felt they were, doable.
Petri,
A lot of people were like,
I
yes.
cannot believe you didn't make a category for most pink red panda VTuber scene kid. I can't believe this.
A lot of people had a problem with the LootTuber category. Why is there a
What?
LootTuber but not a most wholesome? And I'm like, but wholesome is the default. LootTuber is a niche. Wholesome is the default. That's
Uh
like
huh.
that's like saying, why is there an FPS streamer but not a variety streamer?
Yeah, but it
Because we
doesn't make
don't
any
need a
sense.
variety
Yeah.
streamer. Yeah, and that's how
Mm-hmm.
I see it personally, you know? Like yeah, some people identify as like wholesome, and some people are like, why isn't there a cozy streamer? And I was like, well, there's poor connotations with that, but like, I don't,
Yeah.
I can't make a category for everything,
Then you have like 50
it's
categories, and
difficult.
that'll be a whole conundrum.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this year there was a few categories I wanted to change. So we
Mm-hmm.
took out the best endurance VTuber because it was a bit too vague. People didn't really understand what that was, what that meant,
Dang, I could have won that
how
category,
am
Petri. I
I
can't believe
am
this.
I applicable for that, whatever. And so when I got the team on board, I had them work with me because I was like, I really just need people who I can bounce back off of. What do you think about this category? And we brainstormed a whole bunch of stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
So the team
Yeah.
helped me change the categories because I realized going publicly with it wasn't the most helpful because everyone has different and conflicting opinions. And we
Yeah,
discussed the pros and cons
understandable.
between the team on different categories.
Mm-hmm.
So the categories that changed were the we took out endurance
Mm-hmm.
and we changed best singer to best musician
Ooh,
just to make
okay.
sure we include anyone that, let's say they don't sing but they play the guitar,
Yeah.
make sure we're including those people. I don't think we had any of those this year, but that
Mm.
option was there, made it a bit more broad. um Best artist was changed just from VTuber artist to like VTuber artist, including people that do 3D models or
Okay.
graphic design or
That's
whatever.
so
Made it a
cool,
little bit more broad.
though. That's so cool. I think
Yeah.
it's like I like the way that you expanded it this year to kind of include a lot more,
Yeah.
like a wider range of people per category, which kind of helps kind of minimize the amount of niches and like
Exactly.
categories that you
Yes.
need to create in the first place.
Yeah.
If you can put
Like,
multiple categories into one, then it's better.
mm-hmm.
Mm.
Someone was like, why is there, it's a shame that it's FPS VTuber because I don't play FPSs, I play shooters. And in my head, I was like, well, that counts. But I was like, but no, but the category does say first person shooter. So I think
Mm-hmm.
next year I'd probably change it to shooter VTuber, I guess. I don't know,
That
It's things like that
that's
that you
kind of
don't consider.
yeah, yeah. It definitely is
But we,
a tough one as well. Mm-mm-mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
We added video VTuber,
Mm-hmm.
not YouTube VTuber that it was. I think that was changed from last year. It was YouTube. But the black VTuber was a Fadite and we talked about it, and she made a good point of coming away from using the term YouTuber. So
Yeah.
change it to video VTuber, which someone did
Mm.
confuse for video editing. But not quite. I tried to make that as clear as I could. We also added ASMR
Here's where I
VTuber,
admit
VTuber event,
I
and
did
educational VTuber.
confuse video VTuber for
Yeah.
video editing. I did that.
Yeah.
Yep. I
I
I
gotta
submitted
work on the
somebody based
branding
on
and how to
that.
make that more clear, And that's okay, that's okay. Um, yeah, it's difficult, it's
Long
difficult, but
form
it's something that
VTuber.
you yeah, but you can consider
Leaving stream
live
could be in
streaming
long
long
form.
form
Yeah,
content.
that's a tough
Exactly,
one. That's
right?
a
It's
tough one.
difficult. It's difficult.
I do like the
So and
educational
then there's
VTuber
also
one.
short
Mm.
form videos, like 5-minute
Yeah, that
videos.
is true.
It really isn't, it's so difficult, and it's things you don't think about would
Mm.
it be a problem until it goes public
And people are
and it
like,
gets
ah.
announced. And then people complain about it or whatever, then you get feedback, and it's like, okay, but now it's gone public, and now I've been accepting applications and things, whatever. It's too
Mm.
late for me to change that now.
Yeah.
The worst thing I can do is go back on something and change it now. The only thing I can do is stick to my guns this year and change it next
Mm.
year. So,
Yeah.
this year, so last year, the requirements were just under 100 average viewers.
Okay.
Fine. I have no issues with that. I'm sticking to my guns on that one.
Mm.
But people rightly called me out because some of the nominees, the finalists, were under 100 average viewers, but had like 20K followers on Twitter.
Yeah, but even
And
then, people
and
will
it's like, is
argue.
that even small anymore?
Mm.
And I was like, I kind of see their point. Is it fair that someone with 200 followers is in the same category with someone with 35K or 50K in one case
Mm.
followers? Like that's a lot. That is a lot. Um so I was like, you know what? Let's add a follower cap. And people were like, okay, but what platforms? And I was like, all of them, right? Because that made sense in my
Mm-hmm.
head at the time. And it does make sense. But you know how much work that was? It was an insane amount of work. There are so many social media platforms. And then to have to go digging for each and every fucking finalist's every single social media platform.
Mm.
Every category had 6 finalists and then some, alternative options.
Yeah.
And I would go through that list and I'd be like, well, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are not applicable because they've got over 10K on this platform, or this obscure platform, or they've got
Mhm.
200K on TikTok. And it's like, that is unmanageable. And it is too much work. And we'd be scrambling to, you know, fill gaps and make up for things. And it was
Yeah.
so much work.
And so
And so I'm
actually,
looking at doing it differently next year.
along those lines, actually,
Mhm.
I'm gonna skip ahead to this question because it is relevant
What
in
do you
this.
consider small VTuber?
Well, those two actually, yes. So what do you consider a small VTuber first?
Um, I think the two kind of are one and the same answer,
Mm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think small is subjective, and I think my perception of small is going to be different to, say, your perception of small, or
Mhm.
Iron Mouse's perception of small,
Mhm.
or, you know, Andy from next door who watches his favorite Hololivers perception of small. Because you ask the average VTuber, and they'll say a really small number is considered small. You ask the average VTuber watcher, they'll say a really big number is considered small because
Yeah.
they watch all the corporates. That's who
Yeah.
they watch. But
Mm.
I think in the context of the award show,
Mhm.
it's an award show for people that won't get into the big award shows. And with that in mind, that's really broad. And I could probably even extend it to as much as, 1,000 average viewers or less is considered small,
Yeah, a matter
in
of
my
like what your
opinion.
perspective is. It's what's the
Yeah.
word? It's relative, right? It's
Yeah,
relative to who
exactly.
you are, what you consider large. And so then I know there's been some points of contention around the content of small regarding the awards requirements. Some
Yeah.
have complained that the 10K cap is too big and that that's
Yeah.
not small, while others have
Yeah.
complained that the requirement is too low and that they need to be considered because they're much bigger than that. But I'm still a
Yeah.
small VTuber. Do you have any thoughts on these concerns from the community? I
Oh,
know
I have
you've had
so
to
many
deal with that
thoughts.
quite a bit.
So many thoughts. When that was announced, do you know how many of what I considered my own friends came out and said nasty shit about me because of that? So many.
Friends, you said?
Yeah, people that I consider friends. Or like friends in the
What?
community, mutuals, like people I was on friendly bases with, people I'm friends with on like Steam and Discord and stuff. It's like, wow, you think I don't see you chatting mad shit about me because I've put a 10K cap on it? Being like, I'm really disappointed in Petri. This is really disappointing, blah 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 blah, and like chatting shit.
But
And it's like, okay, well, I'm
well, if
sorry.
you're not pleasing
I'm
them,
sorry you
you're
feel
not pleasing
personally
others
attacked.
either, you know? Like, that's not very fair. And as friends, they should have just supported
Yeah.
you. And I'm really sorry that you had that experience because of it.
People just, I don't know, I don't know, like, I think to me it showed a different side of it showed me very much how people perceive me, even people that I consider to be friendly basis with,
But then there's
and
other issue is you don't owe them anything.
yeah, yeah, a lot of my genuine friends were coming out and being like, hey, I'm really disappointed in everyone like chatting mad shit about Petri. I sure I don't personally fall under that category anymore, but I accept
Hmm.
that and I'm proud of that because
Yeah.
it should be a good thing to not be considered a small VTuber. Like that means you're kind of doing it. You're kind of doing what you
Yeah.
set out to do. Like why are you mad
And
at me
again,
for
it's
something
just
that you're
an award
achieving?
show. You're like, you get the recognition you get from it is like,
Exactly.
well, that's just that, right? It's just recognition, not so
Don't need
much
my
that like you
validation.
win anything in particular from it.
There's no money, there's no prizes, nothing. I've
Mm-mm.
had people offer me to give out cash prizes or physical prizes, keyboards, mouse, mics, cameras,
Mm.
chairs, and I'm like, that's great, but I can't accept that. Like, I would accept giveaways or I would accept, a physical sponsorship in the cash form so I can fund the awards to be bigger and better. But I cannot give anything to the finalists. Like, I can't give out prizes to the winners. That is
Yeah.
not fair. Like, that is not fair. And then it
Mm.
becomes competitive, and it isn't. That isn't in the spirit of the show. It's about supporting each other and uplifting and creating space and opportunity, and not about winning. It's not about winning. So the 10K thing, I can understand people are upset if, let's say, they
Yeah.
had one viral video on TikTok and now they
Yeah.
have 20K followers on TikTok and they're no longer
Mm.
eligible. I can understand that. And I do really sympathize with that. And I do feel bad, especially for TikTok, people that were over 10K on TikTok for no longer
Mm.
being eligible because, like, yeah, like that is the nature of TikTok. You do just blow up over one video and then never get any views again. But
Yeah.
that's how I want to change it next year. it was too late for me to change it this year. C'est la vie, you know? But
C'est
I
la
can
vie,
change
c'est
that
la
next
vie.
year. You're so American.
C'est la vie, celery.
Yeah, I've never heard that before. That's so American.
No, that's just my personal joke. I don't think anyone actually in America says that. I'm just weird, Petra. You could just say, "Wow, you're so
It's
odd,
wonderful.
Fee."
It's wonderful. No, you're wonderful. Yeah.
Oh my god. But so then would you say that how has the Small Vtuber Awards changed your path as a creator?
Ooh, I think in a lot of ways it's helped,
Mm,
but I think in some ways it's really hindered me. You know?
yeah.
Like, I can't deny the growth I've had because of it, and because how people have changed their perceptions of me. But at the same time, I think a lot of people now, because they've seen this one little thing go a little viral, they have this preconceived notion of me. You know? I feel like I get skipped over for opportunities. I feel like I get excluded. I feel like people have this assumption about me, and whatever. So
Yeah.
it's I'm only known for being the host of the Small Vtuber Awards, and that
Can
you
be
know,
difficult to deal with a little bit sometimes and have a lot of
yeah,
expectations on you.
yeah,
Understandable. Does
yeah.
it bug you that that's what you're known for? Would you have preferred to have been like,
No,
no, you
it
wouldn't change
doesn't.
the trajectory of it?
Like, I'm proud of it. I'm extremely proud of it. And I'm proud of the reason I did it, to create that space and uplift people. And I think because I'm so passionate about that, I think it really comes through. And I think, would I change it? Don't get me wrong, I wish I could go viral for my own content and people be like, "Oh my god, she's actually so fucking funny."
But you
And
are
then they
so
actually
fucking
like watch me
funny.
I know I
You're
am. But people
hilarious.
don't see that of me, right? People
I think
don't
they
see that
do
side
see
of
that
me.
of you, though. They do see that. If you come into your streams, they know that about you.
Yeah, but they
And that's your
don't.
core
They
community,
follow
Petri.
me for the VTuber awards. They only watch my VTuber award content, and then
But
they don't
Petri,
want to engage in anything else.
that's people from Twitter and such, right? And
Yeah,
maybe they come to your stream and they follow you because of that. But then there's people that follow you because they genuinely love your personality, Petri.
yeah, yeah.
And I
So
think that's a
in some
beautiful
ways, it
thing.
has really helped.
Yeah. It gives you a bit of a boost, then the people who will actually stay there for
definitely
Petri
has.
will
Yeah,
definitely stick around.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
But what has been the most stressful part of this event? And likewise, what has been the most rewarding part of it?
Last year it was getting fucking cancelled.
Sounds miserable.
Feel like that's understandable. Because I'd never had that much attention before. So to have that much attention and then get so much shit, and for a while I had everyone on like my side and really defending me about it. And then you say the one tiniest little thing. The moment you show any sign of aggression in return, boom, they flip on you. They really do. It's so fickle. Like False ID featured me.
Oh.
He talked about the Small Vtuber Awards, and back then he was in much better standing than he is in today.
Yeah.
And he featured me, and it got a lot more attention on the awards. And I'm forever grateful for those that did feature the awards, even if it was for the bad reasons. It did get so much more light on the awards and the people featured. So, turning a negative into a positive, but
Yeah.
people like False were like really on my side. And like really like, oh yeah, like this is really cool. She's doing a really good thing. She's handling this really well with grace and everything. And then the moment I was starting to crack and be like, you know what? I'm fucking sick of this shit. People flipped on me. Like suddenly it was like, oh,
it's like,
well,
you're
you didn't handle that
aggressive.
very
Oh,
gracefully.
we don't like our attitude.
Yeah.
Well, we don't like your attitude.
Yeah.
So screw you, Petri.
I think it is, part of being, AFAT, being, a woman or femme presenting. Like a lot of you see it in a workplace, right? Let's say you work in a normal 9-to-5 office. A man can be very graceful and handle things calmly, whatever. He gets a little bit aggressive. Everyone goes, oh, he's so assertive. He's such a boss figure. A woman does the exact same thing, the exact same tone, the exact same behavior. She's a bitch. She's a bitch.
What an
Fucking
absolute
bitch.
cunt.
You know? Yeah. And it's always terms like bitch, you know? It's that
Mm-hmm.
nasty, aggressive female. How dare she show aggression? She should
Yeah.
handle everything with grace and just take it on the chin, you know? And it's like women aren't allowed to bite back ever. Or
Yeah.
you become the bad guy. And I think that did in a way happen. And I barely bit back last year. Oh my god, I held back so much.
I love the way you've been asserting yourself this year, though. This year has been just chef's kiss. Amazing. I love seeing you stand up for yourself and stand your ground and create your boundaries. It makes me happy, genuinely.
You do
And I know
really
not
have
everyone's
to
going
like
to
walk
agree,
on this
but
tightrope with it though. Like
yes. But you're
I
doing a
can't
wonderful
be
job
like,
of it.
actually, you're wrong. I have to be like, okay, but have you considered that maybe that's not everyone's perspective, you know? And it's just in the wording. It's in the
Mm-hmm.
delivery, you know? Because I
Yeah.
can't be like, well, you're fucking wrong. Just shut up.
Yeah,
I
well,
can't
you're
do that.
actually an asshole, so screw
Can't do
you.
that. Yeah, and some people just are an
This is why you
asshole.
go
You
to
know,
your
some
friend,
people
you're
just are
like,
an asshole.
yo, friends, I have this thing I want to vent about. I can't say it publicly,
Yeah.
but fuck this person in
Mm-hmm.
particular.
Mm-hmm. There
And that's where it's
was
for talking shit's okay in that sense.
there there was someone this year when I
Uh-huh.
announced the follower cap
Mm-hmm.
that gave me mad shit in DMs.
Oh, of course, they
And
came
like
to your DMs, of course.
I'm talking bananas off the wall, unhinged behavior. Unhinged behavior.
I am disgusted.
And it was pure entitlement of like, well, why can't I be featured? And I was like, well, politely, you're like 20
This is a
times
bigger
over
VTuber
the
then.
follower cap. Yeah. Bigger VTuber.
That must
Very
have been
well known.
terrifying for you as well.
Honestly, no. I didn't
No.
know who they were. I didn't know.
Okay.
Didn't know
It's
who
like
they
for
were.
me, it'd be like
I
if
didn't know
some
who
big
they were.
VTuber came in my DMs and was yelling at me, I'd be terrified. I'd be like, "Oh, my apologies. Sorry. Please don't hate me. Don't put a hit piece out on me, please."
I don't know how genuinely big they are beyond their follow count, and they basically had a big following from being a bit of a nepo baby, and then went on to threaten to follow bot all the other finalists of the awards to make them ineligible. And I was like, well, good luck, because last year there were over 6,000 nominees, and I want to see how much money you'll spend follow botting over 6,000 nominees to over 10k followers. But you know what? If that's what you want to do to be able to make sure that you personally are eligible for this one little award that means absolutely nothing, that is A, unhinged behavior, and B, be my guest.
Oh my
Be
God.
my guest. And I have reason to believe they may have gone through with it and follow botted a few people.
Oh.
Insane behavior.
What an absolute psychopath. Oh my God. Imagine being that pressed about a stupid, no offense, but a stupid award. It's an award show. It's an award show. Who cares?
It's a PNG. Let's
Literally,
be honest,
you get your reward is a PNG and a congratulatory clap and some eyes on you.
Yeah.
It's not that deep. It's to recognize
just trying to do
people's
good
efforts.
for the community. Like,
yes.
it's actually insane. So yeah, like, it doesn't bother me too much anymore. People's unhinged, insane behavior. But you definitely see new sides to people. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
at the moment,
absolutely.
they feel personally slighted, you know? So.
But I guess, of course, some people have been very, very critical of the Small Vtuber Awards and how it is run. How do you deal with those criticisms of others throughout playing the event? And has this affected you in decisions that you make for the awards?
I encourage you to run your own event. You have my blessing. You have my absolute blessing.
You don't like it? Do your own.
Many of those people will be like, okay, fine, I will. Or they'll be like, I don't want to do that. And I was like, well, then don't complain. Like, you don't like the way I'm doing it. Go run your own. You know, I encourage you. You know, you are absolutely, fill your boots. Absolutely. A lot of them will start it. They'll give me mad shit. They'll start trying to do their own. They will not be able to follow through, or it won't get the reach that they want it to, or whatever reason. And then this year, those same people have come crawling back and have been way more supportive. And I don't know if it's just because they've been hit with like, oh, this is actually really hard, or maybe, you know, maybe I should be a bit nicer this year, you know.
So I don't
or
get
maybe because last year, exactly, yeah, because last year I said I was going to make a blacklist, and I did. I have a blacklist. I have a
Oh,
blacklist of people
did
who were fucking
anybody
nasty.
did anybody in the blacklist get nominated this year? If you don't mind me
I don't know. I
asking.
haven't checked. No
Ah,
finalists. No finalists.
no
But
finalists.
I
Good,
haven't
good.
checked if any of the blacklisters are. That's on the to-do list. That's on the to-do list. So
Like I'm
yeah,
gonna just kind of take out all the nominations that are blacklisted. You guys are
yeah, of
jerks.
course. Yeah, they don't deserve it.
I
Like
again, I
absolutely.
respect that you stand your ground on that. It's very, very respectable, for
I
sure.
think the moment you hit someone with an ounce of accountability. Oh God, no, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean. I'm sorry, I said that. Because
Yeah,
suddenly it's
well, I'm
like I
sorry. Oh,
see
my,
you.
my, my bad. It was a joke. I was kidding. Whatever. You know.
They think no one sees it. They think no one. They think I don't see the shit that they say. But then the moment I respond to their tweet, the moment I call them out, the moment I threaten a blacklist, they
Hmm.
backpedal. There was someone who
It's
made a fucking
crazy.
Google Doc about me, and I hadn't even seen the Google Doc. And
Oh
I
my
said I was
god.
going to make a blacklist. They came in my DMs and they begged for forgiveness
And
and
they
said they
just outed
deleted the Google Doc.
themselves.
They outed themselves. I had no idea. They outed themselves. They told me they made a Google Doc. They didn't mean it. They were really sorry. All this stuff. They were like
Oh my
begging for
god.
forgiveness. Like that is insane.
I
Like
think
thanks for apologizing, but Jesus
I think
Christ.
one of the biggest things people don't realize in the VTuber space, and especially just the content creation space in general, right, is you think that people aren't watching you and what you do, what you
Yes.
say, how you act, but people get impressions off of what you do online. And if their first
Yeah.
impression of you is a bad one, they will
Yeah.
remember that. They will
Oh yeah.
remember that, right?
100%.
And oftentimes people remember the bad things more than they remember the good. So don't screw yourself
Mhm.
over by saying something stupid online, all right? Say something
Yeah.
stupid online, you're screwed. You're done. You're done so.
I think because they don't see you liking the tweet. They don't see
And
you replying to it. They think you
yes,
don't see it full stop.
and they
And
don't
it's
know
like,
that people
that's a lie.
talk. People talk in this community. They
Oh yeah.
talk. I cannot tell you how many times I even just going to Off-Kai Expo, right? And meeting
Mhm.
VTubers in person, people being like, oh, that one person. Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I know
Yes.
them. And I'm like,
That
oh, do
happens
tell, do
so
tell.
much. Happens at TwitchCon, happened to Off-Night, happens to
Hmm.
every like
It's
anytime you
networking,
meet
baby.
VTubers. Yeah, like and it doesn't come from a place of bitchiness. It comes from a place of, like
Protecting your
I've heard really
space.
bad things about them. Yeah, exactly. And it's like
Mm,
often you'll share with friends that you're really close with,
hmm.
um, and share these stories because you want to see your friends get hurt by these people. And
Mm,
so I can understand it, but at the same time, being on the receiving end of that, it can really suck. Like the person who decided to, spread rumors about me, and
mm.
now I'm sure there's this huge subgroup of people that assume really bad things about me because they heard it through the grapevine from this one person. And so people just go spreading it like, oh my God, I had this Petri person is like a real, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, but like, maybe have some basis for that. Maybe have some receipts,
Yeah.
maybe
Prove it.
maybe
Prove
like
it.
make a
Show
judge
us
for
something.
yourself
Mm-hmm.
on people. So like when people come to me and they're like, "Oh my God, have you seen this person? They're really shitty." I'll be like, "Okay, I'll keep an eye out, but I will make a judge for myself."
Mm-hmm.
And I
Absolutely.
think it's really important to do that. Not even in
Mm.
VTubing, but just in life in general.
Yeah. It's kind of how you have to go through life to make sure you protect the space that you have and in your own mental health. But
Mhm. Mhm.
so a lot of people have grown since the last awards, some as a result of the eyes that you helped put on them. What are your thoughts seeing so many talented creators grow since being nominated for your first event?
Oh my God, it makes me so emotional, honestly. Whenever I
Oh,
check in on some of the finalists and I'm like, oh my God, look how much they've grown. Like, they're doing so well. Like, there was someone who was on like 5 viewers and now they're like partner and hitting big
oh,
numbers. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so
oh,
proud
that's
of
so
them.
awesome.
And I check in on them regularly and stuff. There's a lot of people I really am really, really fond of from the award show
She's
last
watching
year.
you.
And I'm always watching. At the finalists this year, I will watch it. I was watching a lot of the finalists this year for several weeks before it was announced. And
Mm,
so it was really funny like when the finalists was announced finally.
mm.
And a lot of them are like, "Oh my God, that's me?" And I'm like, "Hey, I've been watching you for weeks." And
I actually, one of my
it's
friends, Ari Tai, was actually in the finalists, and I was so excited because I
Oh
nominated her.
really?
Yeah,
Oh
it
yeah,
was
they're
cool seeing
brilliant.
my friends in
Yes.
there, and I was like, oh my god, I know that person.
Yes,
They're
it
doing
was
big things.
this year because I wasn't doing every category. I felt a little bit of that magic myself. Like,
Yeah.
when the category your team came to me and were like, "Okay, this is who we want for this category and whatever, and this is who's in this category." I'll be like, oh my God, I know that person. Oh my God, it's this person, you know? And I'd be like, oh, I'm so proud of them, you
It's
know?
like Christmas.
Like getting that recognition. It is like Christmas.
Yeah.
It was really nice. I think I really enjoyed that aspect of it this year, being able to get that excitement of, oh my God, this person's been picked. Because last
Mm,
year it was hard being like, well, I mean, they're my friend. Am I being biased? You know, it's
yeah.
hard to separate
But
those
knowing
things.
it's not, the bias is not on you because this time it's just
Yes.
your people that are helping
Yes.
you out helped you, like, kind
Yes.
of narrow it down. I must
Mm-hmm.
feel freaking
Yeah.
amazing then. Yeah.
It does. It does. It does, honestly.
So then, my last question regarding the VTuber Awards here.
Uh,
Why do you feel that the Small VTuber Awards is so impactful and important?
I think it fills a gap that was needed. It was a big void. I think there's so many VTubers that work so hard and pump so much money into it and don't feel recognized, don't
Mm,
feel validated, don't feel seen in the community. And a lot of people, all they really need to really grow and blow up is just eyes on their content. And if I
yeah.
can provide that for the award show, even if it's someone that's already doing well, even if it's someone that's
Mm,
already gained a community for themselves, or if it's someone who's not done any of that stuff for themselves, or someone who's at the very beginning of their journey, you know, or no matter what stage they're in, it's being able to give them that opportunity.
mm,
And then at the end, when I did that big list of every single person that had a single nomination or more,
yeah.
and people were like, oh my God, that is me. Someone somewhere believed in me to win an award. And
Aw.
in the grand scheme of all of these names, someone believed in little old me, you know? And it's
Mm,
that feeling of being, oh my God, I feel seen. Someone
mm.
in my community thought I would win an award and so nominated me. And it's that, oh, I think that's what really made the VTuber Awards successful.
Yeah, absolutely. So then I know I had a lot of friends that were also coming and being like, "Oh yeah, I was nominated." And I'm like, "Oh my God, congratulations." So I don't know. I think that's really cool. I think it's awesome. And there were a couple questions from the community regarding this section. I know I said, "Oh, that's the last
Yes.
question about the awards," but I lied. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So Nicodemus asks, I was too nervous to apply for the awards. Would there be any advice for those who may not have the confidence to join in on them?
There is there is no reason confidence comes into that at all. Like confidence is not even a thing. Like it's not an application. That you don't
Mm,
need to prove yourself, you know, as being worthy of an award. It is literally I implore you, sorry, to self-nominate. You know,
yeah.
because especially as a small creator, you
Mm,
have to make those opportunities for yourself. A lot of people in my replies were like, "Oh, I'm too small for this." I was like, "There is no such thing. It's in the name. It's called Small VTuber Awards. You know,
yeah,
put
it's
your name in that.
small. They're
Like,
like,
you're never
I'm
gonna
too
win
small,
something if you don't do
small.
it."
I'm like
Hmm.
minuscule. And I'm like, no, 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 no.
There's no
Anyone
such thing.
could win.
No
Anyone.
such thing. Yeah,
Mhm, mhm.
exactly. Like there are streamers in this year with free average viewers. I'm sorry,
Wow.
but like streamers with like 200 followers. It's like there is no such thing as too small. There's no
Mhm.
such thing. Sure, like, you know, you're up against, you know, people of a huge variety of sizes, you know, within that
Yeah.
category of quote unquote small. But
Hmm.
there's no reason you shouldn't apply. You know, I think the fear isn't about confidence, it's the fear of rejecting. You know, what if I put my name forward and then I don't get picked? Am I gonna be heartbroken? And you know
Yeah.
what? Yeah, you might be, but that happens, you know, with everything. Everything in life. If I buy a lottery ticket, what if I don't get it? If I apply for this job, what if I don't get it? If I go out
Yeah.
on this date, what if they don't want to see me again? It's like sometimes you do just got to take that step because it's literally you miss all the shots you don't take. And
Mm.
who knows? Maybe you will be featured. And even if you're not, there's so many other ways that I make opportunities for people to be involved. So this year I'm working on a special event for the award show,
Okay.
which is a little secret. And
Oh,
then last year, I had
I'm
clip
excited.
compilations that featured people that were and weren't nominated. And
Mm.
at some point, I'll put out a tweet being like, hey, do you want your clips in the award show? Send me your
Send
clips.
me your
And
clips
I'll,
and get featured.
exactly. And I'll make big clip compilations and it plays as like ad breaks throughout the show.
That's
And you can
amazing.
watch last year's show to see it. And it's just a great way of like, you know what, you didn't get picked this year. You're not a finalist this year, but you can still be involved. You can still get a little bit of the limelight. You know,
Mhm.
just put your name in it. Just put your name in it,
Do it.
please.
Do the thing. Don't let your dreams be
Obviously,
dreams.
it's too late this year. Exactly, but next year.
Understandable. Okay, thank you for the advice. So the next question from the community,
Mhm.
Kimono Gamer asks, what advice would you give to somebody thinking about hosting their own award ceremony privately?
A lot of people have asked me this. Actually, I
Hmm.
get a lot of DMs being like, "Hey, I'm gonna run an award show. Can you give me an advice?" And it's like, I don't. That's not enough information to go off of.
Mm.
What are you running an award show on? How do you want it to be done? How like
Hmm.
what do you want from me? Do you want me to tell you the full breakdown on how to run an award show? Because honestly, there isn't a one size fits all. I would say what I did before I ran the Small Vtuber Awards was I went and I watched extensively. I watched the Streamer Awards by Cutie Cinderella, and I had a look at her website, and I had a look at how she does everything. And then
Hmm.
I was like, okay, well, that is obviously a formula that works for her. And
Hmm.
I, took the bits that I liked about it. The ad breaks between awards I felt was really important. That worked really well
Oh
for her.
yeah.
So I did that. There was like a pre-show thing. I didn't do that. All sorts of bits and bobs. You take from it, you learn from what you like and what you don't like. But there really isn't, if you have a more specific question, you're more than welcome to reach out to me and I'll answer how I can. But without a specific question of like, how did you manage picking people? How did you do nominations? How did you make this? Those are the questions I can answer. But would you give any advice for running an award show? Is a question I get a lot, and there really isn't. There really isn't an answer to it.
Yeah.
but
Mm. Well, okay. I think it's also good to look to others, and
mm,
kind of get some
do your
inspiration from the way they do
research.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, research. A lot is like there's original ideas out there, right? But and you can take an original idea and get inspiration from others to create that original idea, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
no shame in finding inspiration from others, and that's how a lot of things in life are done. A lot of things in life are done through inspiration, especially
Mm-hmm.
in the content creator space, especially.
Oh yeah. You just
Mm-mm-mm.
gotta make it your own.
Mm-hmm. And so then, do you notice any similarities between the finalists that are picked? Color scheme, disposition, etc.,
Mm.
whether within categories or
I
overall?
I don't.
Mm.
Uh I think I personally and I encouraged my team this year to really try to pick a huge diverse range. Some
Yeah.
categories you can see, resemblances, you can see patterns and themes. Like take something like the Souls like category. Take the FPS category. The more
Mm.
niche categories, you can see where the patterns start to come up, right? Um, and I think if you're interested in that niche, maybe have a look and see where the pattern is, and maybe that would apply to you. Like
Mm.
overall, it's hard to say. It's hard to say because I mean we really do try to pick a big range because there isn't one size fits all for VTubers, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I was just someone had mentioned that question from the community as well, and I was like, that's an interesting question. I never even noticed if there was
hmm
any similarities, so I figured I'd ask the person who's directly involved.
If
But
someone notices, I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear
yeah, that
what
very, very
patterns
curious.
they
Like,
pick up. That'd be interesting.
mm. Absolutely. And so I see that you play a lot of simulator games, and you did mention it earlier in the interview.
Yes.
What is your favorite and why is that?
Rock sim.
Rock Sim?
Rock Simulator. 1 and 2, don't make me pick. I love them both. They're my babies. I
I
love them
see.
because you play as a rock,
A
and a
rock.
rock does nothing. So you do nothing,
I
and it's beautiful.
see.
You
That's
you
very
play as a
poetic.
rock. You get stones. You collect stones over time, and you level up. And you can go in lobbies with other rocks, and
And you
you can
just
just
stare at
be
each
rock
other?
pals together. Yeah, you
Huh.
just exist. And you unlock
Interesting.
different, scenery, and sometimes there's puzzles to unlock the next one by clicking on rocks. It's a very good game.
I see. Petri, I'm learning
Rock
so
sim.
much about you right now.
Yeah, I told you I like really obscure sim games.
I'm a simulator game VTuber now.
Hmm.
So,
Rock
okay, let's
sim.
say I know you do some job simulator games. How would you feel about being put into that job for a decade, but as your VTuber persona? How do you think that Petrichoral would react in that situation, being a Queen of the Stars?
That's hell. Well, I don't know why you would want to inflict such a hell upon me. That is hell. That is there's a reason I left retail. Thank you very much. Um, No,
like,
I'm
how
I'm
dare
good.
you, Fee?
I'm good.
Petrichoral cannot. Oh God. Like, I'm a queen. What do you mean? Putting me in
Yeah,
hell
exactly.
like
I guess
that?
maybe something like House Flipper could be fun. You know,
Ooh.
flipping houses for fun for a decade.
For a
Yeah,
decade.
I don't know.
But like, imagine that
Mm.
it's like a couple hours per week, you know? You don't have to do like a whole lot of heavy
Oh,
lifting, you know?
yeah, or Power Wash Sim or
Power
Rock
wash sim.
Sim.
Ooh.
Just
Rock
disconnect
sim.
from life and
Like
become a rock for a few hours every week.
forget everything
Yeah.
else in life. Become a rock. Easy.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Any thoughts on how this year's awards will go? Any good, bad, hopes or
Mm,
predictions?
I think this year will be more positive.
Mm,
Maybe it's wishful
maybe.
thinking.
Hopefully. Crossing my fingers.
Um, this year will definitely be bigger. At least
hmm
that is the hope.
hmm
Um, this year will be not as flashy and new
hmm
because I haven't had the time that I, would have liked to have, upgraded things or the money to pump into it to make fancy, cute, cool graphics.
Yeah.
Um, but I think the because it's gained a lot more of a name for itself now.
Mm.
I think people are really interested to see how it'll go, and they're excited for it where they weren't before. And I think it can only go bigger and better every year. That is
Yeah.
it all. Bigger and better. Bigger and better.
There's a very positive outlook on it, and I appreciate that quite a bit.
I
I'm
think
hoping people are kind of,
I
behaving
hope so.
themselves this year.
I hope so. I'm gonna pay less attention to it this year.
mm,
Um,
mm, mm.
and I don't know. Time will tell, I guess. Time will tell. Time will
Someday,
tell.
someday.
Yeah, someday. Soon. Real
I'm
soon.
hoping for the best for you though, and I'll definitely be there to support you as
You.
well. Mm, mm,
I
mm.
appreciate
And if
it.
anyone comes and causes you problems, let me beat them up for you because I'm not
I will
afraid to
do.
say something to them.
I will do.
Ah, man. So then, where do you see the Small VTuber Awards going from here in the future?
I actually have really big plans.
Oh,
Really grand big plans.
big things coming.
And um I think it'll take a long time. Um but I would like to see the Small VTuber Awards up there rivaling things like the Streamer Awards. You know?
Oh yeah, I
I
could see you doing
want it
that.
to be that big.
I could see you
Yeah,
doing it.
because think of how much good that could do. Like
Yeah.
that would really launch people's careers forever. Like
hmm
that would honestly launch someone from being a tiny PNG freshly made baby VTuber into, fucking I don't know a good sized VTuber to compare it to, but like
Mm.
big, And
Iron Mouse.
yeah, I'm also
Iron
maybe.
Mouse.
But it could
Mm.
really change lives, and I think that is really exciting.
Yeah,
Um so I have a lot of plans that I am not prepared to divulge,
that's
but
totally fair.
I have like a rough 10-year plan on things.
Mm.
On how I want things to grow and expand and yeah, do a lot of things. Do a lot of things. But
Yeah.
there'll be more things coming soon, hopefully
Okay.
before the next VTuber Awards. So
So everyone listening can look forward to some very big plans from Petri and very exciting news sometime in the future. Hopefully the awards go amazing this year as well, and I think that they definitely will. Got some big things in the works, and I'm excited to see where the awards go moving forward. So then,
thank you, Fee.
my last question for you:
Yes.
what goals and aspirations do you have for the future, whether for your own channel or for the awards show?
Mm, I want to finally get partner. You know,
Partner, yeah,
I've had so many people be like, "Oh, I just assumed you were partner. I thought you already
yeah,
were partner." I'm like, "No, I'm just a little guy.
just a little
I'm just a
dude.
little guy." I do want to get partner. I want to release
Mm-mm.
more of my music. I want to do more panels and like IRL events.
Yeah.
Um, so I really enjoyed that. And for the awards, mm, I would like to see more big creators willing to get involved. I
Ooh,
want to see
okay.
more big VTubers be like, you know what? Yes, I want to help you with this. Yes, I want to
Award
do
watch
this.
alongs. Award watch alongs.
Yeah.
That would
Or
be so
like
cool.
I have reached out to many big VTubers and be like, hey, are you interested? Would you like to do this? It'd
hmm
mean a lot to a lot of really small VTubers if you did
Yeah.
this really small little thing.
hmm
But we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see.
Hopefully in the future, there's people be willing to. And so then, that is all the questions that I had prepared for you today, Petri. But it has been an absolute pleasure getting to talk with you. Thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule for me. And I hope that your new job goes amazing for you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
Of course. You are doing an amazing job with the awards, and I know you're probably going to end up being very busy in the coming months. But big things coming. We're all looking forward to see what you do next, Petri. I really appreciate you taking the time for us.